Okay, today we're going to be fitting some of these Oxford hot grips. They're just the commuter ones, so they have a high, low and an off. Even though they have an off, I know when I go off the bike I'm going to forget to turn them off. So I'm going to put a relay coming off the ignition switch, so when the ignition switch is turned off, the power to the grips is turned off regardless of their settings. So that's the relay setup. I don't know if you can read that or not, probably not. But this is the circuit that I've come up with. So we'll have the relay in the middle, which will come off the ignition switch, which will switch the relay on this little switch here, which will allow the power to come down through a fuse, up through the relay into the grips, and then obviously we'll just earth it back to the battery. So that's the plan. So I've got some 8 amp cable to do the ignition lead. Then we've got this device here which connects 2 cables together, which will take off the ignition switch to bring it over to the relay, and then we just got some plugs just to plug it onto the relay itself, and that will just screw in the compartment next to the battery. Okay, so let's go out and start stripping the bike down and get the grips on. Okay, here she is, and what we're planning on doing is taking off this fuse cover in here, and there should be all the fuse box in there, and then hopefully there's only a screw that I can undo, lift it up. I don't think it's going to be easy to get to the cables this way, maybe not. Then I can get to the cables, connect to the ignition cable, then what we'll do is we'll run the cable all the way down along the framework under here to the battery under here. But what we'll have to do first is take off the back covers, take off the seat, and then we'll get into that fuse box. So take the back cowlings off. Right, so that allows us into these bolts here, so we can get them off, that one there, and that one there, and that should then take the seat off. So I'll just do that. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, the seat's off. Now what we need to do is we'll take this side fairing off just so it's easier to run the cable along the chassis here. So okay, now we've got the side panel and things off, we can start to see the route we can bring our cables, so we can actually follow this same route down, and we can come in there and then along through this one and then into the battery housing just there. So it should be nice and easily, but I don't want to really say that because it'll go wrong. Right, so let's have a quick look up in this fuse box and see what we've got in there. Oh, okay, right, well, tiny little thing. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there's some. But okay, I'm not sure if you can see that, but someone has done a really dodgy job on this at some point, and they've connected a wire already to the ignition, but they've obviously then not needed it and just chopped it. So now that it's there, we will take our feed off this cable, but we'll trim it back a bit and make it a bit neater, and we'll stick some tape over that. But yeah, that's rather dodgy, but okay, well, it is what it is. That's what I've got. But that's the red and black lead anyway that I should be taking my feed from, and that will then pass down through the body, as I say, and then it will come down, it will come underneath here, through here, it'll run down here, underneath, through, and then into the battery. So now I know where I can take my feed from. We'll get the battery cover off, just make sure we've got some space in there to put the relay, and then we'll get these grips on. I'll get my little bar ends off, and we'll see how about getting these off. Right. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. If you can see that, it's a good job I've got a spare one indoors. Right, as that side's off, might as well carry on this side. See if we can get this grip off. There we go. Look at that piece of cake. Right, I've got some wax cleaner actually, so I think I'll go and get that, throw that in there, clean that all up a bit before we put the new ones on. Okay, it's all evaporated and we're ready to put on the new grips. So what we'll do is, stay there, we've got some glue that comes with it, so we'll just pierce that. There we go, stick this bit back on. Right, we're ready to brave it and go for it. So that in my pocket so I know where it is. Here we go. I don't know how much of this you put on. This is the first time I've done it, so what we'll do is we'll stick just a little trace on the inside and just a couple of dots, nothing more than that. Right, let's put this lid back on because I'm assuming this is super glue. Don't want it to dry it too quick. Okay, let's push it on. Oh. Okay, I don't know if you noticed that, but I was able to push it on almost too well. Right, that still has plenty of movement. So we're good there. Now we just need to get our bar looking good. Is that the right height? Not that I'm ever going to twist my throttle around that far, but that's doing the job. So that's one side done. Let's get the other side done, and hopefully this time I won't knock the camera off. So I'm not sure if you can be able to see me doing this side. Let's just turn that round. Right, let's have a look. This one's going to push on like so. So make sure that's all the way around so I can push. Right, let's get a bit of glue in there. Didn't look like I needed that much to be honest, so we'll just do again just a little tiny bit around that inside circumference, a dot or two just to be sure. Right, let's line it up how we want it and push it on. What's the thing? Push it on. Oh, there we go, we're on now. Oh god. Almost there. Whew. There we go, that should do it. On my high beam, there we go, high beam still works. Yeah, I can get to everything. Got a bit of polish on that one, I'll clean that up later. Yep. There we go. There's that one on. Okay, now what we're going to have to do is remove these two bolts so we can put the actual controller here. We've been given some new bolts and spacers and things, so hopefully we won't need the new bolts because they're chrome. Oh, there goes one of my spacers. There goes the other spacer. Hopefully the the bolts will still for each, because I want to keep with these black ones rather than these chrome ones. So right, let's get these bolts out and see what we've got to play with and find those spacers I just lost. There's one of them. The other one went down here somewhere, didn't it? There it is. Yeah, if you can see that, they are slightly longer. Okay, right, let's give them a go. Okay, I've got the side panel off, so what I've done already is the cable from here, I've fed it round. I will cable tie it onto this cable here shortly, and all I've done is just tucked it into this cable tie. It's just hanging out here. So what we'll do is we'll carry it on down through here, we'll come out up here, we'll run along the back. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll go along the back of the frame underneath the tank, and we'll come out here, and then we'll basically run up this bit here, and then probably underneath where the Scott oiler is, and in through back here. So let's get that cable run through there, and I'll be back. Okay, we're there. I did have to loosen this bolt here just so I can move the fairing out of the way to get it underneath the tank. And I did just have to loosen this bolt slightly. I've got only finger loose, I didn't have to take the tank or anything off. Just enough to lift it up so I could push the cable in underneath here. And then, as you can see, it comes out at the end here. And then plugs into the other end of the controller, which is there. So, that now feeds through, as I say, underneath there, down under there. Comes out here. Don't know if you can see that. It comes out there underneath the fuel tank, and then we're going to run along this frame at the back here. You can see I'll cable tie that up in a second. Comes underneath here, comes out here, and then into where the battery is. So it'll come through that little gap there, and there's plenty of cable left over to do what I need to do with the relay. So what I'll do is I'll cable tie this in. The other thing we need to do actually is up the top here is we still need to plug our actual handle grips in. So what I'll do is I'll plug them in as well. You don't need to really watch me do that. Literally is just plug them in, and I'll just tidy the cables up in there as well. So I'll tidy that up, cable tie this thing, and then we'll come back to the relay. Okay, as you can see, I've now connected my ignition cable to the ignition lead. I'll come back and stick some tape and things around this a bit later. That will all tuck in there, that'll clip down on there like that, and that basically now runs through here, comes out here, runs down the side of the bike here, underneath. It actually comes up here, through here, around the back of this one, cable tied here. And you can see it just there. Then comes down through, and we come round. And it comes through and out underneath here. There you go, out underneath here. And then we're going to run along here, and then here we go into the back of the box. Right, the only thing I've done since putting this cable in is disconnect the battery, obviously, because I didn't want that shorting out. Okay, let's just come back around this side. Right, so what we're going to need to do now is fit the relay in there, which we've got here. What we're going to need to do is going to fix it in there. Right, I've got my drawing, so I know what I'm doing. So first things first, we're going to need to just chop this to the right length, so probably about there.
Yeah, basically, pretty much, that's all you do, just stuff them down. Yeah, yeah, that's what I do. I never used to, but I think at the side plant someone taught me that a few years back.
That's the first one done. That would go into 85, and on the bottom here it's numbered, there's 85. First one done. Right, next we need to do the positive. We can just split this down a little bit to be all that way. Right, so poppy, need to chop this one at the right length. We'll basically do it the same length as the other one, which is to about there. Okay. Is everyone stopping to say hello to my dog? Alright, let's get another one on there. Round that down. Right, this is the positive of the grips, so this is going to go into 87. So positive of the grips, 87. There. Right. And right, we need our positive coming off our battery. Should be this one, so that's going to be connecting there, coming across, coming through, so we can leave that at its full length. We'll just strip that back. Just hold the plug on that. Don't know if you can actually see all this. Okay, there we go. There's a plug on the end of that one. So this is the positive with the fuse, so that'll go into 30. That bottom one there. So that'll go through, as I say, to the positive. And now we've got the negative. So we need the negative from the relay and the negative from the grips. So what we're going to do is, because it doesn't matter if we terminate here or if we terminate here, so what we'll do is we'll basically fold this, put a plug on it, and we'll do that in effect. So let's do that. So we want to do it about there. I need my knife. end of the day, doing it this way, if it goes wrong, you can just end up snipping it and just pushing 2 wires in there. But I'm going to try, hopefully, and do a splice. Not actually have to cut the cable. It's the plan. So what we're going to do is just slice through there. Make sure you don't cut yourself, obviously. You can see you all cringing at home watching me cut this. There we go. I've got it. Okay, I'm going to need to do a bit bigger than that. Copy. There we go, that's better. Then you just twist that round together, like so. Now, hanging head, and it'll push that into there. Will go. Okay, let's test that, make sure. Yep, that's good, that's not going anywhere. So what we can do now is plug that into 86, just make sure 86 is our earth negative. Plug that in. There we go, and then that will pass through to our roof. So there's a positive and negative. So let's now bolt in the relay. Should do it. Okay, so that's that. And the cable's tucked in nicely. So all we need to do now is pass these through and connect these up to where they need to be. So what I've done, just so you can see, is I've just passed the fitting through the back of the rubber, so when it sits over, it covers it all nicely, like so, just like that. It's all nicely covered. We can still access our fuse. Right, so all we need to do now is test it. See what happens. Just do a quick check. Ignition on, lights on, ignition off, grips off. Excellent. So, cars, I switch them on or off. If I turn the ignition off, they go off. Job done. Thank you for watching.